Yeah, what up, folks? So we have a case study on hand, right? This is a 2016 Sorento. Customer said he been to a few shops. He replaced the BCM and the brake switch twice, and he still has an intermittent no start. From time to time, some lights would appear on the dashboard, and you're not sure exactly what's going on. He replaced the brake switch with an OEM one, and still has a fault. So let's see if we can dive into it and get this job done. What up, folks? So we got a 2016 Kia Sorento. This is 2.4 MPI, right? Customer complaint is that he have an issue, coming out of the park. So I believe he have a special tool that he purchased, which is this little screwdriver thing here, where he put it down in this little hole to unlock the shifter, right? And it works. But of late he been having this issue. So that led him to replace the brake switch, and basically it worked for a bit, and now it's back to square one. So you're asking if I could diagnose this for him. Let's see if we can scan this vehicle and give us some kind of directions. Basically, as the customer said that he's been experiencing this off and on, right? He thought it was the brake switch, so he replaced it. He also thought it was the ECU. Right, I asked him if he had the old BCM that was replaced, and he said no, he discarded it. So yeah, so let's see exactly what codes that we pick up off the vehicle. It's a 2016 2.4 MPI Theta 2. Let's do a smart scan. Right now the check light is basically off, but I'm just hoping to see if anything, just kind of show me what's up. If the BCM have a code, if it's the ABS has an issue, if it's a brake switch have an issue. I'm not sure exactly what's good, right? But I know that you definitely have to get put this in, and it's not happening all the time though, man, because I've been trying to get this to act up for a while, and like if you do it once for the day, that's it. You don't have to do it for the rest of the day. But if you leave it overnight, then it happens, where you gotta use the screwdriver. So it's kind of annoying to have to keep trying to play with it. But I'm not sure if it's a shift lock, relay, is the solenoid, is it the BCM, is it the brake switch? It could be anything, right? But yeah, it's kind of annoying because you saw when I was trying to start the vehicle, right? I felt the seat coming towards the steering, like it's being ready to start, but no matter what you do, it won't start, and the seat will go back and forth for a while until it feels like it needs to start. So it's kind of annoying. So let's skip all this. Hold on, right? So we got a brake circuit error, right? So if we got a brake circuit error here, right? So we know it's electrical. That's tied into the VSS and the other hole, right? So we got a C1542, right? So we got to diagnose this C1542 code. Okay, let's go into this module, right? Only if I have a freeze frame. No, it don't. Got a data stream. Let's see if we got a brake light, brake switch issue. What else? What else we have here? I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I'm just trying to, see if I get anything to show up. Okay, so if we put the handbrakes down, nothing. But let's press the brake and see if we see the switch comes off or on. So the brake, I'm stepping on the brake right now. Probably gotta start it up. Alright, let's. So keep going back and forth, man. I got the fob next to the. I'm stepping on the brake. So you get off and on, man. That's crazy. So now I'm stepping on the brake. Right now you're not seeing the brake switch coming on that. So right now I'm trying to activate this. Nothing. I'm stepping on the brake. And the brake light is not coming on either. Okay, so what I need to do is I gotta get a wiring diagram for this. So now it works. So it released. So you just see it worked when I pressed it. Alright, let's put it back. So if I step on the brake and I press the release, it did release. It came off. Alright, it's saying release. If I put it back, it's still saying release, which is incorrect. I'm stepping on the brake and the light is saying off. I'm not getting nothing. Okay, so we gotta look this code up.
Alright, so let's break these four codes now. We got a C1542, which indicates a fault within the brake switch. We also got a P0504 A/B brake switch correlation. From what I know about the word correlation in respect to signals, it means that they change together at a constant rate. So if we have a brake switch correlation fault, this means that the timing of the signals going to and from the modules is off, right? Similar to like the crank and cam sensor. So if the signals are off, basically the timing for the engine is off as well. And they give you a brief breakdown of the condition and possible causes that can trigger these fault codes, right? So we gotta look up the diagram, and from that I can do my checks at the PCM and the brake switch. So we got a 4-pin switch, so I should have power coming from a fuse to either pin 1 or 2, and on the other side of the switch we have a pin 3 and 4 when not depressed. So the switch sends brake pedal operation signal to the ABS module, and with that now other modules take that information and know exactly what to do.
This is a brake switch that was installed by the customer, right? He said it was a new switch, right? The grommet is intact, right? It's not looking like it's loose. I believe the connector is good, because the connector have to be good because it won't register that I'm stepping on the brake and I won't get no ignition, and plus the brake light won't be on, right? So that's looking good. I'm not seeing anything loose. Let's get a little wiggle. All right, it have 4 wires on it. Let's see what's the color. I'm seeing green with a black stripe. I'm also seeing blue with a black stripe, orange and a blue, right? So I'm not sure what wire belongs to what, but I'm gonna hook the scope up onto the blue and the green wire with the black stripe and see if that's a signal wire, right? I'm gonna monitor that and the scan data at the same time to see, you know, if the signal is a problem or it could be a faulty switch. Right, so let me just get my gears, hook it up and monitor these things when we have the fault to see if it's a signal problem coming from the ABS or is it just the switch is faulty. I got it back up. Right, so you see the light is on, you see the car is running. Right now I'm trying to engage while my foot is on the brake, and you see that the brake switch is saying that it's off and I'm applying pressure. So why is it, you know, the brake switch is off when I'm stepping on the X? Right now I'm trying to come out of the gear. Alright, the car is running. I'm taking my foot off. Alright, nothing. Stepping on the X again. Alright, so the car is definitely running. I'm stepping on the brake. I'm trying to engage, now it came on. And I'm allowed to move. So, yeah, it looks like we definitely have a issue here with this brake switch.
So the brake switch is in a tight spot, so it's very hard to get the camera up in there. But I was able to grab some additional information so I could see exactly how this thing worked finally. So power is being supplied to pin 1 and 3. When you press the brake, pin 1 power goes across to pin 2. That goes towards the PCM, and pin 3 send power to the IGPM so it could go to ABS. So I believe somewhere we have a short or open circuit somewhere that's causing the no start. While the vehicle is working, I was able to grab some known good waveforms so we could compare when it, the vehicle when it fails, right? The two signals sends opposite values depending on the brake operation. So when we step on the brake, the stoplight switch A sends the power voltage value, while stop lamp B sends 0 volts. While on the other hand, if the brake is not stepped on, opposite values are output. Okay, so we're gonna do some checks by the fuse, right? So we got two 10 amp fuse that we gotta ensure that we getting power to. I believe that we do have power on these fuse because the car do start up, right? But I gotta do my checks, you know me, right? So we gotta ensure that we're getting power from here, right? And then I gotta go and do my checks at the harness as well, right? You gotta ensure that you cover all your tracks anytime you're diagnosing, because these little things, right, guys tend to miss, right? I mean, you rush into the process and then you forget that power coming from a fuse. Simple as that, right? And I'm no different from anyone. I'm learning how to read graph, interpret data, and gather information. But the difference is that, I tend to be a little bit more detailed than others when it comes to diagnosing. So, that's contribute to my skill set, right? But in order for you to be solid like I am, you gotta do these things. You gotta write things down. You gotta get information and figure out exactly how things work so you can, make a solid decision. It's getting late and I gotta wrap this up. A little tired, it is, right? But the vehicle is still acting up. It's not starting right away. You gotta just basically keep playing with the switch every time in order for it to start up, right? So I'm gonna see how long I could stay on this vehicle. I got some things I gotta close off before the night is out. So I'm gonna let you know if I decide to go a little further or if I'm gonna just call it quits for now. But we definitely have a fault still on this vehicle. What we're gonna do is our checks right here, the PCM. This is a 2 connector harness type ECU for PCM. Right, so I gotta locate the ones that controls or comes from the brake switch, right? And with that, I gotta check, ensure that I have proper drag and no loose pin fitment thing going on. That can also cause a fault, right, coming to the ECM or PCM, sorry. Right, so let me just get my multimeter real quick. All right, so I got my multimeter up. I'm just gonna check to ensure that my leads is good. All right, you see I'm getting 12 points, is the battery voltage. And what we're going to do next is locate the pins, which is here. I already marked them. And I'm just going to let's gently probe to see exactly what voltage I'm getting off of each pin. Right, that's 0. I'm just going, basically, I got the information off the wiring diagram. Right, so I'm getting no voltage at all coming off these 2 pins, which is not supposed to be. So let me ask one of the guys to help me see why they step on the brake switch or engaging it. Let's see if we're getting 12 volts. That's one, we're getting nothing. And nothing still. So I'm getting no voltage coming from the brake switch to the PCM. I wonder if I'm in the correct spot. I was looking at, oh, there you have it. Right, so I got 12 volts. So I'm expecting to see 12 volts also at this pin. I'm not at all. I'm getting ground. That's strange. So I'm not getting the 12 volts coming to this PCM. I think I found the problem, or at least isolate the problem. Let me ask one of the guys to help me out real quick. Okay, so I got 2 multimeters set up on the pins from the brake switch to the PCM. One is the green wire with the black stripe and the other is the blue wire with the black stripe. I'm not seeing any voltage on either wire, even though the brake switch is being engaged. So I do believe that we are chasing a short within this harness. This is because when my guy touched the brake pedal switch, the backlight tends to flicker from time to time, but at times it stays solid and it's working, and this is when the car will start up immediately. So I believe that we need to do some more checks directly at the brake switch area, because I mean, you clearly seeing it's flickering every time he touched the brake. So this is the brake switch harness right here. We got the 4 wires. We got the green with the black stripe, the blue with the also with the black stripe, and we have another one right here. Matter of fact, I gotta close off because it's getting late, so we're gonna pick it up tomorrow. So this is day 2 working on this Kia Sorento. Alright, so what I confirmed earlier, well yesterday, I'm getting power sometimes, and sometimes I'm not getting power at all. Right now I'm getting power to this harness area right here, which is a green wire with the black stripe, and on the blue one I'm getting 11.9 volts, and yesterday I wasn't getting nothing at all. So for some unknown reason, whatever I touched basically brought voltage back to the PCM. So with this, I believe the vehicle definitely going to start, but I need to go after that brake switch harness and see exactly what's going on there. Yep, I believe I found it. When I was meddling around to put my oscilloscope here, I heard the gear shifter solenoid engage. You hearing that clicking? So the brake switch basically off the vehicle, and I'm able to like move the harness slowly. I'm hearing the brake, like the gear shift solenoid clicking when it's not supposed to be engaging, and the brake light is off as well, and it's supposed to be on because the switch is in my hand. It's not even engaging. So I believe the short is somewhere here on this harness. So yep, I believe we found it and we solved this problem, and there you have it. The light is off, the brake light is off, the switch is off, and the brake light is supposed to be on because the switch is not engaged, and you're hearing the solenoid. So I'll fold this right here. So I'm going to take my scope off, and I'm gonna do some probing right there and see if I could kind of hone in closer to the short and see what's going on and what's causing this car not to start up. Okay, so let's inspect this. Let's look for any kind of corrosion or breaks around this connector. It doesn't look like it has anything that can cause that. Alright, so let's depin this from this connector and let's inspect it. I find the tip is looking like it's spread a little bit, but matter of fact, let's do a pin drag test on each pin. Okay, that's feeling good. Alright, I'm feeling for any kind of resistance in the pin, right? So these feeling real nice and snug, right? So let's try the one that has the fault. Let's see how he feels compared to the others. Yep, he's loose. Alright, so we found the problem. We got a faulty pin. Alright, so I was able to just put a little tension on the pin, and I also secured with some tape. Let's put the switch back on, and let's do the same check I was doing just now with the listening to the solenoid. Let's shake the brake switch with the key on, and let's see if we hear the solenoid. If we don't, that means I believe we fixed the problem because we had a spread pin. I'm not sure how it was spread, but it sounded real good. Yeah, it doesn't sound like we have any issue with this. I think I found the problem. Let's go up in front and let's check our voltage going to the PCM. Alright, so there you have it. I'm getting my voltage every time I engage the switch, which is good. So I got them guys in the vehicle right now just engaging the switch for me, and it's looking real good. So I'm getting voltage every time coming to this PCM. So I'm going to definitely call this a fix. So what was happening initially, it seemed like probably when the customer step on the brake switch will move or vibrate or something like that, and it would knock the the pin loose a little bit. And there you have it. We got the brake light on. It's not flickering at all.
So that's letting us know that we definitely fixed this vehicle. Right, so right now the brake switch is off, so that's why the light is staying on. And look, every time he press it, it's staying on solid. It's not even vibrating. It's not even flickering at all. So that's letting us know that everything's good. I'm getting my 12 volts. So yep, I believe this definitely fixed this problem. And let's check the blue with the black stripe. All right, I'm also having a ground right here when you engage. Let's see what happens. Let's get the 11 volts right here. So I was able to diagnose this vehicle. Right, so let's see if this vehicle starts right up when I'm stepping on the brake and I'm hitting the switch. It started right up. Nice. Okay, so let's put the AC on. It's kind of hot here. Oh, do we load this down? Alright, so with the AC on, let's see if we have any codes that's on the vehicle. I'm expecting to see the P0504 code and the C1154 code. Screen record. Alright, so let's do a smart scan. We may find faults on the ESP, and we still may have some faults on the ECM, but it looks like we don't. Okay, so let's see exactly what fault codes are still present on the system. Alright, so we got the C4 code still, and we also got that P code. Okay, so I gotta erase it, and I'm not seeing anything additional, so let's go ahead and clear all the faults on the system and see exactly what returns. Right, the vehicle is running right now. I got it to start up instantly, so let's see. Let's let it do its thing. Okay, next what we gotta do is to throw away the special tool. No, I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm just gonna rest it right here. That's the customer. Alright, starts right up and it's going into drive and reverse effortless. So we definitely gonna call this a fix. Yep, you see it there. I'm switching off. Okay, I'm stepping on the brake again. I'm gonna start it up again. Got no check engine light, nothing. Alright, and it's responding. So yeah, looking good. So I'm definitely gonna call this a fix. Okay, we got the vehicle working like it's supposed to. You don't need that screwdriver anymore. Right, so we can switch the vehicle off. Okay, we can switch it back on. We can step on the brake and move the shifter, which is good. And you know, I'm definitely gonna call this a fix. So, you know, do me a favor, leave a thumbs up. You know, if you like this video. If you don't like it, leave a thumbs down. But let me know down in the comments why you don't like this video. And if you do like the video, let me know, you know, why you like the video. You dig? So, until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.